Hello, it is your Astro Coach Sarah here for your weekly astrology tarot oracle update. I need to come up with an actual title for this weekly thing, but for now it's going to be the weekly update until my creative juices tell me something different. Um, okay, there's so much to talk about. However, you can get a full astrology breakdown forecast, zoomed out perspective over on the Awakening Spirit Collective. Um, that is a membership. Not only do I post there, but we have other contributors and practitioners there. There's also a monthly conscious conversations that happens on the second Tuesday of the month. Um, and so there's that. You can also get a reading if you want to know what and when any of the stuff that I talk about is going to affect you directly. You can get a reading. I offer all kinds of different things. Probably going to be changing my packages soon, like next month, I would say. So yeah, things are happening. The world's gone mad. We know that. But I want to pull out. I want to zoom out a lot because in order to really I want to zoom out and then I'm going to zoom it back in because we do have a Capricorn new moon on the 18th. So this is going to cover I didn't look at the dates off the top of my head. Hold on. The new moon's on the 18th. Um, so we're covering the 14th through the 20th. So the Capricorn new moon, and then into Aquarius season. And Aquarius is like gonna be more Leo-ish than Aquarius, to be honest. Um, and I kind of like that. We have a Leo new full moon on I believe February 1st. That sounds right. And I love the Leo full moon, but we're also heading into eclipse season. And yes, my birthday present this year is a solar eclipse on my sun. I'm going to tell you right now, you have been warned that I am really making an effort to step into my Leo consciousness because a Leo is my opposite from my sun. And I'm not very Leo, but like I watch a lot of Leo astrologers. And I actually like their content more than like other astrologers. So anywho, plus I have a lot of transits like directly hitting my chart this year. So yeah, and if you follow my Facebook, you can follow my Facebook. It's just my first and last name. I don't have a page there for my astro coaching, but I post a lot of content on my actual Facebook page. It does come over to Instagram sometimes, but I don't always attach a picture. Um, but you can follow my Facebook page if you want the public posts there. I really want to get back into TikTok and doing tea and tarot. I've been trying to find a balance in my routine and solidifying my routine this year. And so it's, putting all of the puzzle pieces together to make that happen. Um, so as we head into this new moon in Capricorn, we might be feeling a little raw because all these planets in Capricorn, meaning Venus, Mercury, the Sun, Mars, they're all coming into a conversation with Chiron, now direct in Aries. And Chiron is the wounded healer, right? He's the centaur. And we're kind of getting like the band-aid ripped off, the salt in the wounds, the scab ripped off too soon, and it hurts and it's exposed. And as that's happening ahead of a new moon, there could be some fatigue. There could be like need to pull back and heal and allow and feel emotions. Now, I'm not talking like a literal scab being pulled off. Think about this metaphorically or mentally. Like all of a sudden, like the wound that we talk about this in coaching a lot, like you peel back the layers of the onion when it comes to healing, right? And so, this is just another layer of the onion being pulled back, and this one's gonna hurt. This one might be the one that like the onion juice hits the hangnail, or whatever, that stinks, right? Have you ever gotten onion or garlic juice in a hangnail? It fucking hurts, right? Or a paper cut. Shit hurts. Okay. But this is going to be more emotional and mental, and things that you thought you had overcome that you have not. Now, what I'm going to say is let this be. This is going to be a week where people could really try to numb out with whatever you choose to numb out with, alcohol, drugs, sugar, etc. I'm going to invite you to refrain from that. Um, because really feel this, because what this is doing is allowing us to then step into Aquarius season a little bit more healed, a little bit more steady, a little bit more sturdy. Because remember, Capricorn rules things like bones and teeth, like the foundation, right? You've got like these layers in your physical body, like the bones, which have their own layers. I understand that, but bones, then you have muscle, then you have the circulatory system, and then you have the layers of the skin, and all of that. Something's been in your bones probably for most of your life. Okay. For me, it's been teaching and education. I have been saying since I was 5 that I wanted to be a teacher. Okay. And I went through the whole like majored in education, got degrees in early childhood education, got a degree in adult blind rehabilitation, have a degree in fitness education. And here I am teaching you how to work with your body, right? Teaching people how to listen to their body and their intuition. And so, what is the thing that's in your bones that you feel it, you know it? This is that Capricorn new moon that's going to be aspecting Uranus and Taurus, that's going to be aspecting Neptune and Saturn and Pisces. Okay, so when we come into this weekend, so like the 16th, 17th, 18th, there is something that's inviting you to solidify that this is what you want. You might be getting some pings, you might get some lightning bolts of information or downloads, or like, fuck, that synchronicity keeps showing up. I keep seeing the numbers. I keep hearing the song. I keep, that commercial, maybe that reminder to do the writers group, that reminder to, that keeps coming up, that keeps surfacing, and it pings you, and you're like, lightning bolt, you're finally going to do the thing. Okay. So this is really a week to allow the wounds to be exposed. It's going to hurt. It's going to suck. You're also going to see it collectively. We're seeing it already. If you're not paying attention, you know, here's the thing I'm going to say about all of the political things that are going on. I'm not into it anymore because it's literally ripping us apart. We're all coming apart at the seams. And if you don't realize at this point in the game that this shit is orchestrated, it's puppeteers running a show to divide us, to make us feel like we don't matter, even though we outnumber them. But it's orchestrated. It's meant to create an emotional um, reaction. It's meant to, create reactivity. Is that the same word? I didn't mean to use the same word twice, but that's okay. Um, and so yes, there's things going on. And yes, there's part we all need to play in what's going on, because while we didn't create the mess, we contribute to the mess. We do. You don't have to like that, but we contribute to the mess by buying product. We contribute to the mess by stepping out and not volunteering and not supporting and not being of service. We contribute to the mess. And that is the hardest chunk of reality to accept, is that we allow it to continue. And so, yes, there's a lot going on in the world. Okay. I'm not oblivious to it. However, there is a part of me that's like, okay, but what are we going to do about it? Because I'm Gen X. A lot of you who watch me are also Gen X. Okay. And I have spent a lot of the last month being very pissed, angry, and vocal about being pissed at Gen X, because what the fuck are we not, why are we not stepping up into these organizations? And the reality is like some of these organizations are collapsing because it's an end of an era. However, what are we actually building or creating to take its place, right? What are we actually building to be of service. And your service can be your healing because your healing radiates to the rest of the world, number one, but your service could be entertainment. Your service could be your authenticity to share your creativity. And when I tell you that this Aquarius season is gonna fuck with you if you choose to continue to hide in your little hermit shell, this ain't no Cancer season. You can't be a crab hiding in your hermit shell. No, 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 no. This is some fucking Leo Aquarius. You cannot we can't keep hiding. Like I feel like and admittedly Gen X is exhausted. We're tired. Because for so fucking long we had, Leo, Pluto Leo, which is the baby boomer generation. We had Pluto Leo, baby boomer generation as our kind of authority figures. Those folks are now in their 60s, 70s, 80s, and they're gonna go down kicking and fucking screaming because they're Pluto Leo. Leo is ego. And they wanted to be leaders and bosses and fuck your emotions and you are, I'll give you something to cry about, right? That was how we were raised, right? Emotions don't matter. Emotions show weakness, but that's not true. We know that isn't true. And somehow Gen X has gotten caught in this, like we tried to be leaders and they told us we were stupid or that our leadership was not up to par to their leadership, right? Or that the lady that's been the secretary, the lady that's been the backbone of the organization for decades, she has her own system, and her system is something you can't handle. So we're just going to let her keep doing it. So it's been hard to like level up in an organization, right? And so we felt like we couldn't be leaders because for the longest time I was like pissed at us because why the fuck are we not stepping up as leaders, as mentors, as, adults? But I don't know. I think that I feel like now that I've had a few conversations with some friends about it, like I feel like we tried, but they told us no. Unfortunately, we find ourselves now in a situation where that generation, the boomer generation, is going to be stepping down or whatever system structure they're operating is collapsing. And we haven't done anything to replace it. Okay. And I have a very narrow scope because obviously I'm somebody who's disabled. I'm legally blind. So like I know this in the blindness population, right? That like certain things have risen to the top and they're the loud, proud crowd, and the rest of us who don't agree with them, don't support them, are sitting back like we should do something, but we don't know what to do. And all I can say is that what you can do is use your voice and have conversations with people who have maybe differing viewpoints than you to find some common ground of what needs to be created. I was literally just talking to somebody about this over the weekend, like, okay, yeah, but sure, this one organization may go down, but like what happens to the younger folks that need the mentorship that we can now offer? It's like, yeah, why aren't we doing that? We don't have any good answers, except for the fact that we are here. Okay, we're here. But have we not been loud enough? And I think that's it. Like, we aren't loud enough. We're not here letting people know that we're here. So, anywho, I think there's a lot to unpack with the lack of leadership in Gen X. I'm not saying this blanketly to Gen X because I know there's plenty of Gen Xs who are loud and who do use their voices, but millennials and Gen Z are certainly a hell of a lot louder and boomier. Boomier is a poor choice of words, louder and more, vibrant or more out there than Gen X is. Gen X is still recovering from being raised by baby boomer parents. And we're still kind of under their thumb because you get a lot of boomer elders who tell you that you're wrong and tell you that you're in, you're not appropriate or that's not the way it's supposed to go. Even though for you that's how it works. And so when I say that coming into this Aquarius season, you're really going to need to step out of your little fear of the Pluto Leo folks, the baby boomers, the 70 and 80-year-old. You have to step out of that. You're gonna have to stop blaming them. Stop. Yes, 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 yes. I get it. It's they didn't want us to grow up, but unfortunately now we have to rise above them. Because what's going to happen when though that, generation is gone? We got to have something. We got to be some leaders and get out there and actually like share and show what we got going on and that we can actually do life, even if it's on different terminology than their life. So what I'm saying is that you need to step into your authenticity and stop blaming. But that's what this whole week is going to be is the wounds of like every time I step into my authenticity, somebody tells me I'm wrong. Every time I try to be myself, every people tell me that I'm wrong. And that's what the wound might be for many of us trying to step into an upgrade. And you're gonna have to be okay with people telling you that you're wrong or that it's not appropriate or it needs to be this way, right? And this could be something as simple as, did anybody ever watch Roseanne? Okay, if you watched Roseanne, or even if you didn't, Sarah Gilbert played Darlene Connor, and obviously Roseanne Barr was Roseanne Connor. And Darlene went to writing school in Chicago, and she moved into an apartment. And Roseanne came into her apartment to kind of like help her get organized or whatever. And Darlene had her socks and underwear in the bottom drawer. And Roseanne's like, no, that's wrong. Socks and underwear go in the top drawer. It's something as simple as that, right? Maybe it doesn't make sense for you to have your socks and underwear in the top drawer. It makes sense to you to have them in the bottom drawer because you need the top drawer for something else. Maybe you need it as a junk drawer. Maybe you need it as a jewelry storage. I don't know. Or like in your kitchen, the silverware is supposed to go a certain sort of way, but you're like, it doesn't work for me that way, right? This is what I'm kind of trying to point out here is like we all need to step into our authenticity and be okay with somebody's going to come in and tell us we're wrong and we need to be corrected. We don't need to be corrected. We're 40 something years old now. But if you keep looking at that and being like, damn their expectation, you stop it. Stop. Stop, 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 stop. Okay? It's not just you, it's all of us that are dealing with this whole boomer expectations, but we don't work that way. Millennials don't work that way. Gen Z certainly don't work that way. You're allowed to feel, you're allowed to be frustrated. In fact, you should be frustrated and pissed right now, but use it to shift something. When I talk about alchemizing or transmuting emotions, I'm talking about use the anger, the frustration that all of these boomers who are trying to tell us how it's supposed to go, and we're pissed at them for it and we're mad at them for it, rightfully so. I get that. But do something with that. Stop hiding because we need you to stop hiding under your rock, in your crab shell, whatever the fuck. Because once we get past this new moon in Capricorn, which is on the 18th, then we're going to have literally a fucking domino effect of planets slap into Pluto in Aquarius. We are going to have Venus on the night. So the new moon happens on the 18th, which is Sunday. The 19th, Venus conjuncts Pluto in Aquarius. The 21st, we have the Mercury Sun Cazimi post the Mercury retrograde from back in was it November, October, November, Mercury retrograde? That was a shit show, right? That superior Mercury Cazimi to kind of clean that up is going to be on the 21st. And then Mercury will conjunct Pluto on the 22nd. The Sun then conjuncts Pluto on the 23rd. Then we have like a 4 day break, but then Mars on the 27th is going to conjunct Pluto. In that 4 day break that we get from everything slamming into Pluto, Neptune's going to move into Pisces. And we're done with Neptune or Neptune's going to move into Aries, sorry, and we're done with Neptune and Pisces for good, forever, for the next 160 years. So what I see here, and then this is going to start building up to the Leo full moon on February 1st, I believe it is now you're going to have all these planets, Mercury or Venus, Mercury, Mars, the Sun, Pluto, all in Aquarius. This is a preview. You better use this Aquarius energy. Wave your fucking freak flag, but wave it like it's normal. Wave it like it's normal. It's a preview to the North Node coming into Aquarius in July. I know that's like a long ways away, but when that happens in July, we're going to be full on Aquarius, 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 Aquarius. Start learning about Aquarius. Go download or read Linda Goodman Sun Signs, and she'll tell you all about Aquarius. Your weirdness, your whatever, your social inept, your ADHD brain, your squirrel brain, your autistic brain, your neurodivergent, all of these things is totally Aquarius. Aquarius is gonna love it. Aquarius is gonna love you being all of the things. Be yourself. Be yourself. Your weirdo-ness, your crazy, your because it ain't gonna be crazy. What's crazy is what's happening in our communities. That's fucking crazy. What's happening with homelessness, what's happening with the divisiveness and the polarization. That shit's crazy. You're not crazy. You're unique. You're authentic. You're fun. I posted something on Facebook the other day. I said, I may not agree or like what you're doing or what you are up to, but if your heart's in it, I love that for you. And just as an example, when I was in graduate school, we were all required to take a research course. So, of course, it had all of the how to do citations and statistics and all of these things with the anticipation that eventually we would all write, journal articles, like as in, what the fuck are they called? Scholarly journal articles with case studies, and there would be statistical analyses and all of this stuff. So we had to learn how to do all of this stuff, and none of us wanted to take it. None of my cohort wanted to take a research course. And the gentleman who taught it this was at Western Michigan University in Kalamazoo, Michigan. And everybody was from everywhere. We had folks from Kansas. We had folks from Michigan, of course, myself from Illinois. We had somebody from upstate New York. We had, I don't even remember, somebody, I don't know. They were from all over, a lady from California. And so we're all from kind of northern states is what I'm sort of pointing out. And the gentleman who taught the research course was a guy from Nashville, from somewhere in Tennessee, Nashville, Knoxville, one of those things in Tennessee. So super Southern guy, right? Not super Southern, but like more Southern than the rest of us. Um, and so he had this Southern accent. He used all these Southern phrases, and then it's how we all learned about don't throw the baby out with the bathwater and all of these things. And we also had a gentleman in that class that was a foreign exchange student from I don't remember where. I really don't. I think he was weird and he didn't speak the language very well. So every little phrase we had to explain it, which sort of ruined the funny of the phrases. But he wasn't from America, so he obviously didn't understand the phrases that the Tennessee professor used. But anyway, what I'm pointing to is this guy was so fun and so entertaining, yet he taught us how to research. He taught us that research is fun even though it includes statistical analyses and it includes citations and grammar and if you've ever written a research paper and you know how to cite your sources, the whole term cite your sources makes you cringe and pucker your butt. I totally get it because it does the same to me because it's a lot of semicolons and commas and italics and all of that shit. if you've ever done like AMA style or whatever. Is it AMA? APA? APA, I think it was American. I don't even know something. Some writer out there knows exactly what I'm talking about. But anyway, um, but when you do a citation, it's got to be like a drop indent, and it's got to have like author last name, comma, first name, semicolon, title, semicolon, date published, and then you got to put like the page range, and it's got to be in parentheses with a, I don't know. Anyway, you get what I'm saying. This guy made it fun. This guy made research fun. And none of us walked away ever wanting to write a scholarly journal article, but we walked away loving that course because the instructor was so goddamn fun. I took a statistics class in my undergrad and I hated every minute of it, but the guy was so fun that I actually wanted to show up to class. And I did. I worked my ass off and I scooted by with a Z. Um, but you get what I'm saying? We don't have to like or even be interested in what you're doing. I've had many friends follow my journey for years, and they've seen me go from being a fitness enthusiast, I still am, to being like a spiritual astrologer, tarot reader. And they'll follow me on every account. I'm like, you don't even like tarot. He's like, I don't care. I'm still going to support you. That's what I'm talking about. When you are authentic, it motherfucking shines. And then you shine. It shines, it's on you. So when I say that this Aquarius season, step into your, crazy, step into your fun, step into your authenticity, step into your shine. Aquarius is the coldest, darkest sign of the zodiac, but its opposite is Leo. And Leo's all about taking center stage. I'm not saying take center stage. I'm saying step out of your crab shell, step out of your Aquarian spaceship, and be yourself because we want to fucking see it. Stop hiding. Okay. So that's kind of a preview of the astrology. Of course, we step into Aquarius season, early part of next week. And did I have the date right on that? I feel like it wasn't correct. I mean, it's happening on the 19th or 20th or something like that. I just feel like I said the date wrong. Nope, I did not. Yeah, because the new moon is on the 18th, and then Venus on the 19th. The Mercury Cazimi is on the 21st, right as the sun has entered Aquarius on the 20th, and then the 22nd. Mercury will conjunct Pluto, 23rd. The sun will conjunct. So next week's wild, and then we get the ingress of Neptune into Aries, and then Mars will conjunct on the 27th, heading into that Leo full moon the following week. So you're kind of getting like 2 or 3 weeks worth of astrology there. Y'all want some dates to put on your calendar? Get your calendar. Let me give you a couple dates because I looked up some stuff and I wrote it down because I'm trying to be responsible. Um, Let me go. So take out your notebook or whatever note-taking devicey thing you use if you write with pen and paper or type and speak, or is that even still a thing? Braille note, uh, whatever the fuck you use, slate and stylus. Um, or your computer, your notes app, your voice memos app, whatever the Smurf, right? Um, on February, I'm going to give you these dates so you have them in your calendar. On February 11th, Mercury's going to enter his pre-retrograde shadow. That's how long we have. We have until February 11th before Mercury starts joining the fuckery of 2026. Um, And then on February 26th through March 18th, 20th, what did I write there? The 20th. Through the 20th, March 20th, Mercury will be in retrograde. So we have until February 26th before Mercury goes retrograde. That's a month away, pretty much. Okay? So if you were wondering if everything is Mercury microwave, no, Mercury's not the microwave yet. He will be on February 26th. Okay. So those are some dates for you. And if you know when my birthday is, then you know exactly when the next eclipse is. The eclipse is actually on the 17th. My birthday is the 18th, so but I still get a solar eclipse for my birthday, right on my fucking sun. Okay, so things to think about, journaling prompts, those sorts of things. What are you hiding from? What are you hiding from? What would make you feel authentic? What action? This is Capricorn, this is Saturn. What action could you take to have you feel authentic or like you're being yourself? What action could you take? Doesn't have to be a public one. Doesn't have to be a social media post. It does not have to be anything, but like what action could you take? Could you start a blog? Could you start a Discord group? I love Discord, by the way. I actually am in a T Discord and I actually have set up a second Discord. I just never use it because I'm still trying to work some shit out. But could you start a Discord? Could you start a Reddit thread? Could you start a Reddit thread? Reddit's pretty cool. I know a lot of people on Reddit. Not personally, but parasocial relationships on Reddit. But I go there when I want to find the tea, the dark shit about stuff. I go to Reddit. Um, could you write some short stories? Could you do some videos? Could you buy a tripod? Could you buy a good microphone? Could you, I don't know, like what could you do that would make you feel authentic? Let's get to the tarot here. Um, as far as crystals and oils and herbs for this week, it's all about heart-centeredness because this new moon's going to trine Saturn or trine trine Uranus and Taurus. It's also going to sextile with Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. And so it's all about being heart-centered. It's all about like using this new moon as a way of really bridging that heart energy to your lower chakras, your solar plexus, your sacral, and your root. In order to, this is really Capricorn is Saturnian. It's all about like, this could really be like establishing some new traditions, establishing some new, um, um, processes for yourself that make you feel good in your heart as we head into Aquarius season, which is all about the electrical activity of the heart. So think about it like this. If you drop into your heart center using like a rose quartz and drinking some tea with rose hips or rose petals, using some rose petals in your bath, um, using some rose oil or neroli, which I believe is Naroli, neroli oil, or like I said, rose hip tea, using things that are pink or red for roses, right? Very weird that this is Capricorn and not Aquarius. But when you use that heart as a means of um pulsating, right? Because the heart pulsates, right? Pulsating, radiating that energy down into your power, your creativity, and then your root, which is your security, and you bring something in. Then we step into Aquarius season. What do you think's going to happen with that electricity, right? If we're electromagnetic humans, that's going to radiate through your body, right? Embodying what you're up to, what would make you feel fantastic, what would make your heart flutter, what would make your heart feel happy and joyful. Like it's Aquarius, so it's not exactly like joyful times because Aquarius doesn't, it's not but Aquarius loves when you're your unique, different self, is what I'm trying to say. It thrives on that. So thrive being yourself. Okay. Sorry to the Pluto Leo folks, the baby boomer folks. I'm not trying to criticize or judge. I'm just saying, like, I gotta talk to my age group here. I'm not mad, and I don't think it's y'all's fault either. I think that we all are kind of to blame for how things have gone. All right, we got the Ooh, the magician in reverse. You're feeling stunted. Yeah, this is because those wounds are coming up and you're feeling like you can't kind of find your spark. You can't find your magic. And what I would say is that's because you need to heal the wounds. You need to allow the wounds to be exposed and come up to the surface so that you can walk through them and move through them and acknowledge them and allow them to be healed. Have some conversations with your inner child, your wounded self, so that you can better understand um, what she or he, your 5-year-old self, is experiencing. Let's get one last clarifier. I'm trying not to drop cards. Um, and then, sorry. And then we have, what is this? The Eight of Pentacles upright. Well, this looks like a worker bee, like a hard worker, like either collecting the coins or attaching the coins to a frame. I can't tell if he's collecting the coins or attaching them to a frame. Like he's building. I could be really wrong about that. I have zero confidence when it comes to reading tarot, to be honest. I always have to look it up. I'm trying to get better about doing not looking it up, but I also like I know there's trolls out there that are gonna, you didn't read that correctly. Okay, well, that's what I was gonna stick with Oracle. But I would say like the magician in reverse with that Eight of Pentacles upright. If it's all about working hard, like it's being the laborer or like your spark's gonna return when you do the work, when you clear your head, when you heal and heal that wound and acknowledge that it exists, but do the work anyway, kind of thing. Let's see what's up with the Woodland Wardens is the oracle that I got this week. Um, all right, we got the cat and lavender. Independence. Okay, I have a thought here. Cats are independent, but they are very food driven, right? So yes, cats are independent. It probably pisses them off that they have to like wait for a goddamn human to get out of bed to feed them. You ever seen a hungry cat? They will literally like weave in your feet, meowing like fucking crazy. But I can also say that like cats, when they tell you when they want to be petted, like right, they nuzzle you, but then if they don't want to be petted, they're gonna bat at you, right? So they kind of have like their boundaries and they have like their ways of communicating if you know how to pay attention to the communications of a cat. I'm not a cat person, but my sister-in-law has the most adorable black cat who's ornery as shit, but she's fucking cute. So, and I've cat sat before, and so I've learned how to communicate better with cats. They're still not my favorite thing in the world, but I've learned. I've learned. And yes, they are very independent. They have kind of a leave me the fuck alone, but they also have that feed me, bitch energy, right? They also nuzzle you, or, I think they do like a slowly closing their eyes type of thing when they like you. But then when they don't like you or they don't want to be petted, like Tiffy loves me. Like she knows who I am. She sometimes like lays literally right down in front of me. She'll lay in front of me when she wants to be petted. When she don't want to be petted, she's gonna tell you. She's gonna tell you. And then lavender is like relaxing, and all that. And I know there's plenty of people out there who like to snuggle with their cat, and all that. I am definitely not a snuggle with a cat type of person, but that's okay. I don't need to be a snuggle with a cat type of person. Give me a puppy dog and we good. But what I'm saying is like use, I think it's that feminine cats are feminine, use that feminine, um, comforting energy of a cat, of, but also like vicious as fuck if she don't get her way, right? Kind of thing. Um, and let's pick one more. Um, this one is the mouse and Buttercup. Innocence. Hmm. I almost wish this was reversed. It's the mouse's innocence versus a rat that gets his head chopped off easier than a rat. Like you can bait a mouse much easier than you can a rat. Um, because mice are pretty stupid. Um, so there's a flare of innocence with a mouse, but I feel like I mean, that's why I wish this was reversed because I have like ignorance is bliss, but it's not. Like ignorance just makes you look dumb, like you're not willing to learn. And I know a lot of people like that are not willing to learn and they're just going to play innocent. But what is the thing about like innocence is not that because you didn't know the law or something. I don't know. I don't really know. I can't remember what that is off the top of my head, but I think a lot of us like to try to stay innocent children, but innocent being staying as an innocent child in your mid 40s is going to get you in trouble. Like it's gonna fuck you up. It's gonna get your head cut off. It's gonna lead you to the cheese and then you're gonna get your head chopped off. So you kind of got to be um a little bit more wise and share your wisdom so you're more like a rat and it's harder to catch you. Okay? Because I'm telling you right now, you think this world's crazy now, the energy ain't even amped up yet. It's coming though, very quickly. We're about a month away, less than that, from the energy really starting to fuck with us. Um, anyway, but don't be afraid because like if you don't have any placements near a lot of the major transits, like I already know what mine looks like. These north node moving into Aquarius, anytime the nodes are in fixed signs, I know I'm in trouble because I've fucked on a fixed sign placements in my chart. But that doesn't mean that this year is going to fuck with you. This could be your year to shine. It's going to be my year to shine too, just because like that's how I roll. But anyway, okay. I hope this was helpful. I hope this gave you a little bit of empowerment. Again, you can work with me, you can follow me, all of those things. You can join the Awakening Spirit Collective, get way more support there. I hope this was helpful. And I just hope you feel empowered because you are here for a purpose. We are all here. If you've made it this far, if you're in your 40s and you're still here, you've made it this far, you got something to share with people, and it is some wise stuff. And I really hope that this empowers you to share your wisdom so that the rest of us can be cued into what you know. And I hope that you can act like my research teacher and share with me as you are so passionate about what you're doing and what you offer that I don't even care that I'm not interested. I'm into what you're talking about. So, all right. Talk to you guys next week. Take care.